look, I may have been wrong about my initial assessment of the subclass feature coming to ESO. Recently, this was announced at an ESO event and coming to the base game of The Elder Scrolls Online June 2nd for PC. This feature is kind of like a multi-classing, and I've been playing with it on the public test server and found it much better, more fun, and interesting than I originally thought. It's not like me to admit that I'm wrong, but subclassing, I want to give you a preview of what it is, how it actually looks and plays, and then what you can expect regardless of what kind of player you are, PvE, PvP, or solo YOLO. Let's get started. I'm on my Sorky Porky here, my 1-bar Oakensoul Sork. When I come back to the game, don't know what to do besides hold a heavy attack. Well, on the public test server, you're going to see this subclassing feature. You must complete the quest A Study in Discipline, Reaper's March, Bankerai, or the Rift. So let's go and do that and unlock and see what this looks like. Okay, so I traveled to the Rift, and right off of the way shrine here in Rift Inn, you'll see this NPC. What's the next step? So this is going to be an introductory quest to the actual subclassing feature. It's going to walk you through what kind of class you want to play and why. So originally when you come in, you're going to need to log into every single class that you have maxed out to level 50. So characters that are level 50 will have access to this. So what I did is I logged into my Dragonite. I saw a bunch of pop-ups that said, hey, you unlock these skill lines. Because remember, this feature is base game. You actually don't have to pay for anything. You mean I don't have to pay? So you're going to want to unlock those skill lines. You can actually unlock the skill lines even if you don't have a max level of the classes that you want to get the skill lines from. But what I'd recommend doing is when this goes live, coming into each and every single class, logging into it, unlocking those skill lines, and then going to your main or whatever class you're going to want to get this feature on first. So now we're going to jump back into the game. Now I have all 7 classes maxed out, or is it 7? I think so. Anyways, I have them all maxed out. So it's going to say choose discipline for free. So I've done that already. And then it's going to unlock this little subclassing thing beneath my individual skill lines with individual pop-ups about the subclasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus Sork. I was right. Now you can hit it and then you can gain these individual skill lines. So there is a grind in this, is that you have to level up the skills, but it's account bound. So I've already done this on a couple of different classes. You can see Adric's Spear is at 16. So the skills will be just bare bones. They will not be morphed. So you're going to have to morph them, max them out. You know, Zoth loves a good grind. So expect that. But it will be over all characters. So that's better than just having to do it over and over and over on every character. You will, however, have to do the quest over and over on every character. So as soon as you log in, you want to do the subclassing feature. You're at level 50, come to this NPC or the other 2, and then do that initial quest really quick. Okay, so this essentially allows you to pick different skill lines from different classes. I think of it as multi-class. Now, you have to subtract one from your current build. So it's not like you're just adding something. That's why subclassing, I don't think, is really a good word for it. But regardless, let's equip the Templar thing. So I'm doing Sorky Porky here, so we got to keep Daedric summoning. We can get rid of dark magic, maybe? Let's get rid of that. And then you can see what happens is it's replaced down here. You're going to get the active skills leveled up based on your account after this is done, and the passives. So it's replacing your current skill line and the passives. Super critical. This essentially means for DPS, there's going to be 3 essential main skill lines that everyone uses. Healers, tanks, probably similar, and in PvP, probably similar. So with this, you have to have one of your original class. So we're going to keep Daedric summoning. We'll go to get another one here. What do we want to do? Arcanist, Necromancer. Let's just do Necromancer. So we're going to click plus. I'm going to take away Storm Calling, and I got those 2 now I can use. So I've already leveled these up. Something to know about these is it requires 2 skill points. So let's say we're going to do Blast Bones. We're going to purchase this. That's 2 skill points. And then we're going to do the Morph. Boom, that's another 2 skill points. That's your second grind. You're going to need to grind EXP. You know the spots. And you're going to need to grind skill points. If you're watching this before launch, start doing that now, especially if you have something you really want to min-max in the system. Okay, so I got that done. Now I can confirm it. So let's just put on our bar Blast Bones, and what else do we get? Adric. Okay, we're not going to use jabs, I don't think. Let's use sure, Aurora Javelin. We'll put it on our bar. And then let's grab an ultimate so we can level that up at the same time too. And we'll throw on a bar, we'll hit confirm. And boop. Yay, I got the skill lines and I got the passives. So if you come to your character just like normal, you would have just like what you normally have, your actives and passive skill lines with the grind that you're gonna have to do to max all these puppies out. So let's just see how this plays out. I'm gonna go to Skyreach Catacombs. It's an easy grind. You can do 1 or 2 players. There's Black Rose Prison, a bunch of different other ones, but you're gonna need to do something that increases your XP exponentially to get these up really quick if that is your main goal. Okay, so here we are, my favorite grind spot. I've only spent like 1,000 hours here in my entire life. I know, waste of time, but I'm on a Sork using blast bones and biting jabs or whatever I got on my bar. It is pretty wild to think that this is what you're going to be able to do, but you are. So I come here, I'm going to hit the ultimate, heal myself, hold down my heavy attack, and you can see I'm leveling those skill lines up. That will apply to every single character that I have at 50 that can unlock this individual feature. And I gotta admit, it's kind of wild to think you can use blast bones, puncturing sweeps, like whip, all sorts of goofy skills on classes that I thought would be like, this would be totally stupid. But I gotta admit, I'm having fun actually doing it. Because there is a lot of combinations that I like to use. Like I love puncturing sweeps, just because it hits so hard and it's AoE and it heals me. So I actually used it on my Dragonite and found it was super fun just to hit puncturing sweeps and then Flames of Oblivion. It sounds really odd and I thought it would be completely terrible at first, but I find myself actually really enjoying it. Is it a mid-maxer's dream? Probably, but this is how it basically works. So now I got this skill lines leveled up. I could take it to a completion. So initially when you're gonna get the system, you're gonna have to invest some time in power leveling to unlock all the skills. And then if you don't have all of those classes unlocked and maxed out, you're gonna have to either do that or a quest line. So you don't have to play all of the classes, just so you're aware. Real quick, just to go over this again. Base game, it's free. You have to do a quest. DLC classes are required, so you still need the DLC. Log in, swap to all your characters that are level 50 that you have maxed to unlock those individual skill lines. Level them up so you can access them. There have been some nerfs and buffs to individual classes, specifically the Nightblade and Templar mainly, but we are not in the final weeks of the public test server, so this isn't final, but you can expect some adjustments. Dragonite did get hit pretty hard. So this opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of damage and healing. Most people are going to want to know about damage, right? So you have some skill lines that are condensed in terms of passive and active abilities that make the most sense for damage. I think you know what they are, right? Nightblade, Assassination, amazing skills in passives because they're all condensed, right? So you have that. You also have the Necromancer, Gravelord is really good. And then the Templar also has Dawn's Wrath, which is really helpful with J-Beam that got changed. It channels much longer now. So you have 3 skill lines that are really dense in terms of skills. This is what you want to consider. Let's take a look at my Dragonite, one that doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. Okay, I jumped on my Dragonite and I already have the subclassing feature added, but you can respec at the shrine, or if you have those scrolls. So I'm just gonna add back these individual skill lines for the Dragonite. So I have my original class and I hit confirm. Okay, so something to consider with the active and passive skills. You have this Ardent Flame skill line, right? It's loaded with hard-hitting damage over time effects like Burning Embers, Noxious Breath, Flames of Oblivion. The passives are really good, Poison and Burning status effects. You have increased flame and poison damage. You get it, right? But what's odd about the Dragonite is one of its strongest abilities for damage, both single target and AoE, as long as you have the sustain, is Burning Talons. So it procs a synergy, does flame damage up front, does it over time. It's awesome. So to make this class really work in DPS, you can't just have Ardent Flames, right? Because you really need Draconic powers. So not every single class is going to be using the subclassing feature. Moreover, Dragonite specifically really needs Battle Roar to sustain, unless you're fully optimized in a trials group and so on. This also got a hit a little bit, not final, but they lowered the values a bit. So the Dragonite, when I tried the subclassing feature, really didn't feel that fluid in comparison to others because The kill kit itself is really built around active and passive abilities in all 3 of its class skill lines, not just one. Now we jump on the Nightblade here. This thing is just absolutely loaded with killer skills. I don't know why that shows its lock. Killer's Blade. All of the passives, critical chance flanking, that got changed recently. When an enemy dies within 2 seconds of being damaged, restores resources. Critical hit chance, increasing your critical damage. I mean, this is like one of the best, along with the Arcanist skill line, that you can possibly have in its base game. So the Nightblade is a no-brainer. You also have stuff that's similar to this for tanking and healing, where you can swap in one skill line, keep your class identity, but gain massive active and passive skills that really help you. Is this a perfect system? No, it is not. But actually, when I was playing around with it, and I just had one skill line that sucked. I found like nothing was on my bar. I wasn't using it. I had no passives that I was really engaging with, not like the Dragon Eye, where all 3 skill lines are really critical to my build in PvE and PvP. Here, I could swap one of those stupid skill lines out, put something else in, even if it's just for the passives, making the combinations actually a lot more fun and engaging. So my opinion overall is there is going to be a meta shift. I think it's going to be similar to hybridization and or the scribing feature, where maybe 1 or 2 skill lines, let's say maybe 3, out of all of them are going to be super popular and super dominant. So the meta DPS healer and tank players, they're going to pick, this is your standard cookie cutter build. Here's your base class. Your base class is going to matter because you have to have at least one of the skill lines in it. Your base class also matters because you can have 2 skill lines from that individual class as well. So your main class will still matter, but it's not going to matter near as much for meta chasers. Now, PvP builds, you're going to have, again, similar to the PvE DPS healer tank roles, you're going to have a couple of skill lines that are extremely powerful that almost everyone is going to use, gravitating the meta closer to homogenization even further, which is most classes and builds resemble each other. For most players, this probably is an issue. You don't even notice it unless you're chasing leaderboards or you're trying to dominate people in PvP and brag about how great you are. Not like I've ever done that and sent a cool clip of me bombing people in my necro to like my mom or wife or something. But in all seriousness, this will be good for, I think, the majority of players. It will homogenize the game a bit further, but for me, using puncturing sweeps just because I want the healing and an autopilot of clicking one button that does AoE and single target is actually quite nice. And I did have a lot more fun experimenting with it than I thought I would. And the fact that it doesn't cost anything, I think is good. There will be a lot of issues for balance, right? There's going to be things that are super over the top, amazing. Oh my gosh, you got to use it. But I think for 85-90% of the people that are still playing ESO, no one gives a crap. They just want to have fun and use their little lightning sork and put down some other ability from the Arcanist or whatever, and it's really not the 1% chaser thing that matters to them. And if you're watching this video, I read the comments from the other video. You seem to be really excited about it. And actually playing it, I was very skeptical and hated this, and I have to eat my own words. I actually like it, and I think it's kind of fun. And I'm not sponsored this time. Truly, I'm not. So I was quick to judge this as trash, and I think I was wrong on this. But maybe I'm right in the future when everyone runs the exact same builds and same skills. I don't know. I'll still run my Dragonite the way it does because I like the 3 skill line interaction and how the class looks and feels. But things like my Sorcerer or even my Templar, where one skill line, I might not be even using the healing skill line, I could swap that out to the Assassination from the Nightblade or the Arcanist or the Necromancer, gain one cool skill, a few passives, and make the build even stronger. So yeah, I was wrong. For once, this is my take on it. I hope you got something out of this video with me rambling and showing you this. If you want more videos and how to prepare for the upcoming update in June, let me know. If I were you watching this video and you made it to all the end, thank you. But I would start grinding up other classes if you have the extra time. Start stockpiling skill scrolls and XP scrolls and potions, so that way you can power level these skill lines right away. And I would also go sky shard hunting, especially on your main character. If you're going to want to use a bunch of these different skill lines, you're going to need tons and tons of skill points. So that's something you can do right now to get prepared for this update. So that's it for me. I'm going to get back to doing this and seeing what else I like about Elder Scrolls Online. And thanks for watching the video.